So we have quorum, so I think we'll call the meeting to order. This is the August 2022 WCAC meeting. The agenda was circulated, so I'm sharing that. We do have a lot on the agenda. We aren't likely to get through everything. We're going to end it promptly at 8 p.m. The first item is prior meeting minutes, and there's 3 of them, so we have kind of a backlog there. Susan, I think you were saying that you were kind of working on those. Is that right? Or is it all 3 of them?
So actually, I was in charge of April 6th and May 4th. April 6th got approved last meeting, and I just need to send them, I think, to Elizabeth Hughes to get her to be able to post them. And then let's see, May 4th ones, I am working from like handwritten notes because I think I spontaneously became the minutes person for that meeting and thought I could rely on the video recording, and I'm not finding it. Marcia, I'm wondering, do you know anyone at Minuteman Media Network, or is there someone who manages the town's Zoom account, or I could ask them if they possibly just forgot to upload them to YouTube?
Or we may have forgotten to record that meeting. I don't know for sure, Susan.
Okay.
So I can put in a request to Aaron's, actually things have changed a bit, so I'll have to check about who to contact there.
Okay. If you want me to like just write an email to some general person and to take it off of your plate, I'm happy to do that too. I know sometimes you become the catch-all for our like administrative stuff during these meetings. And
what you could do is put it in an email, send it to me, and I'll forward it to a couple of people who then can get it to the right person once I find out who it is.
Perfect. Okay, I will definitely do that, and I'll send the April minutes to Elizabeth Hughes. And once I hopefully get a recording from last meeting, I can circulate the minutes that I've written up along with some additional details added from the recording.
Okay, great. And Susan, did you let me also suggest that we reverse 2 and 3 here, just because we have a few different sort of administrative things to discuss since we have changes in membership and things. But Susan, had you volunteered to take minutes going forward, or are you ready? Are you prepared to take these minutes, or where did we move on to that?
I can probably do it. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Because I had there, I read the committee charge at some point in the last month or so, and one of the things that we seem to be missing is to have appointed a committee clerk. And we kind of always talk about rotating the minutes taker, but if we appoint a committee clerk, that person presumably would be in charge of minutes each time. Yeah.
If you guys want me to step forward and do that, I'm happy to, and I promise I won't lose track of the minutes like I did for May. I'm usually pretty good about it, but I don't know what happened.
Okay. And if you feel like you're overloaded with that, we can hand that off to somebody at some point. We have more.
Okay.
I also want to make a slight change to the agenda, just to make one announcement, which is that, so this is my first meeting as committee chair. And also we're welcoming 2 new members, Barbara Morris and Laura Payne, to the committee. So as a group, let's welcome them. We're happy to have them on.
Welcome.
And I take it you guys are formally sworn in and everything at this point. Great. And to finish up item 3, which is housekeeping, I wanted to raise the question of whether it makes sense or even is allowed to have a shared cloud drive to share files that we can work on, things like the walkabout that we did and all the improvements and notes that we sort of suggested in that slide deck, those kinds of things. Are we allowed to do that, first of all?
No, you're not. It's the challenge of being a public committee. You are subject to the open meeting law, so all your work has to be done in an open setting. If you appoint a subcommittee, they have to follow open meeting law as well. What you can do is create a document and send it out to everyone and collect comments back to that same individual. But you can't have a document that's constantly evolving with other people's comments, because it's as if you're deliberating offline, or not in a public setting.
Mhm. Okay. All right, any other comments or points about that before we move back to item 2?
Yeah, because the issue is we have some Google Slides that we've shared with the Transportation Advisory Committee, we've shared with the engineering group, we've shared with Public Works. And so those are like our slides that show walkability issues. And in general, it's been last year or the past year, it's been really helpful to have those slides to bring everybody up to date and also to be able to continually add to them. So those slides are on the other town members have those slides.
That was discussed in a public forum and reviewed in a public forum. And 2 people were assigned to finalize it between the West Concord Junction Cultural District and this committee. So that was not done. That was not something where people were constantly adding to and editing. 2 people were responsible from 2 different committees. That is a different type of document here.
So we can keep doing that then.
If you're working with the West Concord Junction Cultural District, 1 person might be able to do that. But I'm saying, Anne, is that under open meeting law, you cannot create a document that others start editing and then based on those edits, make other changes.
Can you make the edits in the public meeting?
Oh, absolutely.
So one of us could put together an updated version of those slides, and then we could review them again, and then people could accept them, and then we could release them again to another committee.
Absolutely. As
Okay.
long as it's done in a public setting.
That's
And
fine.
you could even share it with your committee as long as their comments came back only to you.
Perfect. Okay, that makes sense. Because it is a way, there's a lot of material and there's a lot of visuals that have to get out there, and it can bring everyone up to speed pretty quickly.
Mhm. Mhm.
So thanks for clarifying. That's great.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to raise that because just operationally, I thought it's something I've seen elsewhere, but sounds like it's not a possibility. So going back to item 2, this is also a little bit of a different concept, and it's just something that I've seen work in the past to sort of have a list of ongoing initiatives that we can sort of check on, especially if they are long time horizon initiatives or initiatives that don't really have an end point. And I just, I added just a couple of items there, but before we go into that, is that something that the committee thinks would be useful to maintain in the minutes?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot going on, and there are a lot of projects where, in part because of COVID and in part because of supply chain, we don't know when they're starting or finishing, and people are very confused about them. So the more we can keep everything up there with an initiative and get the dates out when new projects are starting, the better it'll be.
Cool. So why don't we just throw up in the minutes, and then we can add them to the next agenda. Why don't we throw up some items? And it doesn't have to be comprehensive, but I know there are things like this that we could add to the list. And maybe Anne, you have some ideas for things to add, or Susan. Yeah, and just as an example, we talked a lot about this painted crosswalk concept, and so
yeah, we haven't even put that together yet, but it is something that I know at the mill, there are a lot of artists and entrepreneurs very interested in it. And it's something that I'm seeing everywhere happening as a way of guiding the public. And with a new restaurant opening in the 99, with the bridge over Route 2 opening, we want to really make this a place where people get out of their car and their walk, and the painted crosswalk says, hey, this is something weird here. This is something different. And I think we should do it. I mean, I don't have it set up yet. I think we have a lot of other housekeeping items, but it's definitely something we should keep on the roster, and I could prepare for it for the next session if you want. I don't have anything prepared for this session other than what I've shown in previous slides.
Yeah, I think this is more about just if there's anything that we want to do a brain dump in terms of what should be on the list, rather than what is the actual progress on those things.
At the only other meeting that I attended, you mentioned something about, is it 336 Commonwealth?
You mean the new building?
Oh, 13B maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what the address is, but I'm presuming it's the lot that has not yet been developed in front of ENS and the Chopper. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea to put on as a standing item.
But it's,
And then
it's
also-
down there. It's down number 7, schedule for Commonwealth Ave construction.
Oh, sorry. Let's-
Oh, but that's Commonwealth Ave construction. That's not the lot. You're
Not
right.
the
They're two different
building.
things.
Yeah,
They're two different things. So definitely the 13B when it's coming, because I did speak to the developer about a month and a half ago, and it was very, very hard for him to proceed, but that was a month and a half ago. So I don't know what the deal is now.
You also mentioned something about the future of the ENS lot and what kind of a schedule there might be going on there. And I don't know whether that's so far off that it isn't worth keeping people's heads on, but anyway, it's where I've gotten my car fixed for 40 years. So I'm a little distressed, but I understand that they're going to sell eventually.
yeah, we could throw that on there too. I remember there was a member of the public who was on our last meeting in May talking about what the plan for that area should be and could the town create a rotary there or something of that nature.
Yep.
Okay, and we don't have to have a complete list. We could also argue some of the agenda items below could belong in the initiative tracker going forward. But let's start there and then for next time, I'll circulate the agenda with the updated list, and then if you have things that you want to address on those initiatives, just be prepared to comment on them at the meeting. All right, and let's move on to 4, which is this might be something we can close, but follow up on the ride out park proposed modification and notification by the recreation department. We had sent a letter to them, basically politely reminding them that they should keep an open channel of communication if they're going to make modifications to ride out playground. Is there anything else that we need to comment on with this, or do you think we can kind of close it out?
Did you hear anything back, or did we as a committee hear anything back from them?
I heard nothing back. Just search my email.
The other question I have is, in my very incomplete minutes from last time, there was some discussion about, like, should there be a liaison who would attend their meetings if it looked like they were discussing West Concord related things? And I did not capture who the liaison would be, and maybe we'll get to that later in more housekeeping and liaison assignments, but was the liaison you, John?
Are you asking if I volunteered to do that?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't recall volunteering to do that.
Okay.
I'm looking for the. Yeah.
Could you quickly remind those of us who are new to the committee? I know that the rec department had some plan which got a lot of pushback this past spring. Is the status that they changed their plans, that they pulled back a little bit, anybody?
Yeah, so my recollection is that there had been a proposal to put some permanent, semi-permanent fencing in Ride Out to enable baseball/softball playing there. And the folks who abut Ride Out, who live near there, basically heard about it kind of last minute and were able to attend a public meeting in which they raised objections about that, because everyone uses the park a lot for kids running around, pets running around, etc., and fencing it off wasn't seen to be a use that really suited everybody. That was my kind of broad brush recollection of that issue. I don't know if anyone else has more detail there.
So no fence up, permanent fence for baseball or softball at this point?
Mm-hmm. Correct,
Okay.
yeah.
It does seem a little bit concerning that they didn't respond at all to the request for a kind of future notification.
Yeah, why don't we because I share that concern. Why don't we just give somebody an action item to follow up on that? And I suppose that person should be the liaison too. So this is a good time to ask, is anybody interested in being a liaison to the Concord Rec Department?
And the liaison wouldn't have to go to every meeting. It might be you just check the website periodically to see what the agenda includes. And they meet, I think, just once a month. But and there's the recreation committee, and then there's also the director of the recreation, and checking in with her periodically. And that's Anna McCown. And just send an email once a month to say, are there any updates that are impacting Ride Out or West Concord? I'm getting ready to go to my meeting.
Anybody?
Well, I'm happy to do it because it's a pretty low maintenance liaison job, but I would say maybe one of our new folks should take West Concord Junction Cultural District Committee, or I don't know, Ann, if you're doing that, but that's a fairly big one just because they're kind of our sibling committee in West Concord. So I'm happy to do Public Works if I know that West Concord Junction Cultural District Committee is covered.
Well, I'll do West Concord Junction Cultural District Committee because I am working on the signage thing, and I think I should know about that. And so I'd be happy to do it for like the next few months till the end of the year if you want. Is that okay?
Yeah, that works for me. So yeah, I'll do Public Works. I'll reach out to that woman. I guess it's Ann or Anna McCune, who's the director.
It's recreation.
Yeah.
Is that right though, or no?
Not Public Works.
Sorry, yes. Recreation, because I'm doing Public Works also, but they're fairly low maintenance also. They post a lot of stuff on their website, so you can kind of keep track of what they're doing. So I'll do Recreation and Public Works.
And I think going forward, give me a meeting to get my feet underneath me, but I can probably take over Recreation from you.
Okay.
Same. I'm hoping to just, get a tiny bit more familiar with everything, and then I'm happy to be a liaison for anything.
Yeah, I think next meeting under the membership section, maybe we'll spend time just divvying up liaisons. And I don't know that we have to cover every slot, but each person usually takes at least one. And if you want to take more than one, you can. I'm on economic vitality, for instance. But we can punt that to next meeting once the new members are a little more familiar.
Yeah.
For now, Susan is recreation, and Ann will take West Concord Cultural Junction District. all the letters. We'll take
Yes,
all the letters.
the alphabet soup.
All right, great. Number 5, Giroux Park BFRT extension. Any comments or updates?
If I may, Giroux Park is currently under construction, and they're hoping to get it wrapped up this fall, get it completed. Bruce Freeman Rail Trail extension. Again, project was delayed for a number of reasons. And they're projecting end of November for completion, but that may slide. I'm not sure right now. There were some issues with fencing at the police barn, the horse barn, state police horse barn location. And they've had to they're going to be adding some cedar fencing rather than adding screening to the chain link fence. And that has to be installed before they can do the final paving. So, and the final paving can't happen until the landscaping is installed, or landscaping. There's a number of issues with getting everything completed. So we're still hoping for the end of November.
Marcia, is there anything else going on with the house on the Giroux property?
There were some issues with property lines. The housing authority is working with Habitat for Humanity, and they hope to have Habitat construct the 2-bedroom, a smaller house. Those plans were submitted to the building commissioner and town planner for an administrative approval without having to go back to the zoning board of appeals. And those plans were just approved this week. So I think they're proceeding with Habitat constructing the building, which is great.
Yeah, good.
Ready to move on? John, are you muted?
Yeah, I was just saying, do we want to just leave that there for now and keep updating on it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
This is a new one. This is a new one, Future Aspect Bridge and Trail meeting. And I think you were interested in this and had found some material, but maybe you could kind of give us the latest.
Well, I do know the designer who's working with Acton about the signage that they're doing. And they're trying to do signage that's kind of connects. It's in different colors in different towns. I could contact the designer and find out where it's at, but it's the signage so people really know where to go. And I would think since we're discussing signage, we should kind of be aware of the signage that's happening in Acton and happening elsewhere and what his designs look like. I think he was on a meeting with us. Remember, what's his name?
You're talking about Mark Favorman and the Massachusetts office.
Yeah,
of
Mark
Tourism and
Favorman,
Travel.
right.
Yeah, Acton is working with the town of Concord on that wayfinding signage. There are 3 signs that are going to be added to Concord, one at Giroux Park, one near the Neshoba Bridge to indicate where, the post office is and where the restaurants and the ice cream shop are. And then there may be an additional sign either at that point where the rail trail crosses the commuter parking lot, or adding a map to the backside of the sign at Main Street. That's what's being discussed as part of that wayfinding grant.
And I just realized, thank you, Marcia, for reminding me of everything. I just realized this Future Aspect River Bridge and Trail, that's a completely other subject, which is also huge, which you know more about.
Right.
And we were confused about, some people in our committee hadn't even seen it.
Okay.
I have seen the plans. I think some of them are online now.
Yes, the project is online. I think under the planning office.
Right. And so what is the timeline for that?
Well, we're in design right now, and we just received a Mass Trails grant, and we received funding from Community Preservation Committee and town budget to finalize the design. And once we have a finalized design, because we don't anticipate it to be as costly as some of the other Mass DOT projects, we're hoping that it gets added to the TIP, the Transportation Improvement Program.
Is
So
there any room for public comment on the design, or is that too
Pardon?
late? Is there any room for public comment, or has that already happened?
Well, we've been seeking public comment all along. There have been several public forums held. There was a session earlier this summer on the design.
Right, and I think none of us could make it. That was the problem. So there was a little bit of confusion about that. None of us could make that meeting.
Okay. All right.
Is it
So-
too late for us to do public comment now?
It's not necessarily too late, but it is moving forward. So there will probably be future design decisions where the public will be asked, and hopefully you'll participate.
So it's too late now for anything to say anything.
At this point in time, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
I mean, if you,
I think what happened is we didn't know where it was even. I mean, a member of our committee even didn't know where the bridge was. And so now I think we can know, we should maybe maybe even the minutes, put the link where it is so everybody can familiarize.
I'm happy to send the link to the community.
Send the link, that'd be great, because everybody needs to know what's going on.
Yeah, and I saw that like, I think over email, you had forwarded the video recording for that meeting that unfortunately we couldn't go to, and I watched part of it, and I found it to be pretty informative, and it helped catch me up on what was happening. So that might be something good for us to circulate to all our members.
That'd be good. Yeah. So just so we know what's going on, we know what's coming. Is
Yeah.
this like 3 years from now, 4 years from now, a year next year? What's the week? Because I don't have any idea.
That I can't say. It has to get added to the funding for construction, we hope will come from Mass DOT.
Okay.
There may be some design funds that will need,
Right.
enhancements that will be needed. And finding the funding for that might come from community preservation funds or grant or another Mass Trails grant. But we're hopeful that things will work out.
This has been really helpful, Marcia. Thank you.
If I can add, the new owners of the 300 Baker Ave facility are providing a public easement from where the bridge lands on their property over to Baker Ave, which is the piece that we needed to make this eligible for state funding. So we're grateful to the owners of 300 Baker Ave.
Wow.
Out of curiosity, did we have to, was there some kind of compensation for that, or did they just offer it?
It's
Well, we-
beneficial for them in that their employees don't have to walk all the way around Baker Ave to Main Street. So it's advantageous, or cross over the existing commuter bridge.
Got it. Which also is a problem.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a safety issue.
Okay. All right. And then the next one here, if we don't mind moving on, is the ComAv construction project. I mean, I know I've been observing quite a lot of work on the light posts. And it looks like they're kind of just moving along, but actually, Marcia, do you know anything more about sort of timing on that?
Yeah, what has held up the project in a major way was National Grid and relocating. One of the requirements was that they remove the existing gas mains that they were planning to abandon. It is a requirement in the town. It is a requirement in state law. They just don't do it. And so it was part of the conditions, and they did not get started on that project, I think, until earlier this month. There was I think you were informed of a early morning site meeting. Several businesses did show up, Neshoba Bakery, Deborah's Natural Gourmet, and a couple of other businesses along ComAv. They're installing all new connections to these different businesses, so that has to happen first. And then what may happen is that they'll only get the pavement down for this year, and they may have to do the sidewalks next year. The hope is that we can get it all done this year, but engineering has been delayed. They are trying to keep updates available on the Public Works website, the engineering website. So I would check there for further updates.
So just to sum up then, the road is going to be repaved, but that might not happen till like next year.
Well, the road will be done through probably base course. It's the sidewalks that's the more challenging aspect of that, and finalizing the project may not happen until the spring. That's the fallback position. Again, they're pressing to get it done this fall.
Okay. This is great. This is really helpful.
They are aware of both. I think there's Porch Fest is scheduled for the weekend of September 24th. There's also going to be the unveiling of the West Concord Junction industrial mural on Beharrell Street that morning. So they're aware that there's activities planned, and there's a Discover West Concord Day scheduled for October. So they're trying to make sure things are buttoned up sufficiently so these events can happen.
Great. Any other comments on that?
It's really helpful. So it's all, everything's going a little slower than I think was originally predicted, but that's happening everywhere, I think.
Yeah.
When does it not? mean, I guess it's not a rush anyway.
Well, we wanted to get it done this summer.
Right.
National Grid just messed up the timing.
And I think some business people have also told me if there's gonna be major construction on the road and they're holding an event at their, you know, in their business, they want to know about it, kind of. So just being able to know about that, I think helps a little bit.
We are doing well on time, so maybe just to shoehorn in something there that's slightly related to that. You did mention, somebody mentioned the 13B lot. And Anne, you said, I guess it sounds like you talked to the developer. But is there anything else that we could do to either at least get an update or perhaps even, I mean, I think that it's in our interest for him to move forward based on what we had seen. So is there anything that we can think of that we should be doing related to
We could
13B?
reach out and ask him. I mean, he's certainly talked with our committee before.
It has to do with the affordable housing component of the housing units that are proposed. And apparently getting the funding to construct the building, it has been held up because of that. So we're looking at if there's a zoning initiative that we could propose through the planning board to make it easier to construct the building as he's designed it. But he would like to move forward. It's just an issue of funding.
Can someone just clarify what the 13B lot is? Where is that?
It's that corner, it's just a grassy lot right now, and it has signs on it for the condos that are back there, and it is
Oh, yeah.
sort of in front of Neshoba.
And the soap place, yeah.
Right.
Okay,
And-
so there's going to be housing built there?
So it's going to be a commercial, it's like a 3-story building, and we reviewed it a lot and they worked with us really well. And it's going to be 3 stories with the lower units are retail or commercial, and the top upper are residential. And as Marcia just said, apparently some are, I guess, low income or regulated. And so the idea is we really work with them to create a continuous edge condition to enhance the walkability of the street, to keep people wanting to walk and linger. And they really respected the design guidelines that we had temporarily put in for West Concord. It was great working with them.
Okay, interesting. Okay, thanks.
Is there anything we could do as a committee to support that? I'm not sure, Marcia, if there's anything.
If the planning board moves forward with any kind of zoning bylaw initiative, maybe provide that letter of support or speak to that support, that would be important.
How
Okay,
many
so
units are they proposing?
I don't recall if it was 6 or 8, but
Okay,
um,
so is it the percentage of affordable that, yeah, okay, that's been a problem before, was small, yeah, okay.
And have any retail businesses expressed interest in leasing those spaces? I mean, maybe it's too early for that, but there does seem to be some availability of retail space, and I would hate to see some empty spaces there.
I don't know if anybody, I imagine it's going to be nice retail space that would be attractive. So, and also there are shops like kind of wedged into places that aren't really great storefronts, and maybe they would be motivated to relocate. There's always it seems like the businesses are constantly shuffling around.
Yeah.
I think they were gonna equip at least one of those retail spaces for like restaurant or food service use as well. And that developer also developed Brookside Square, and they don't seem to be having issues filling the retail space back there unless I haven't looked closely enough, but it seems like they've got everything occupied back there. So I don't know. I think
There's at least one space that's further back from Orange Theory that I don't
Mm.
think is occupied, and
Right.
maybe one additional one beyond that.
Okay, got it.
And so that's what I was thinking about. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
And-
valid.
We're also dealing with two different zoning districts. The Brookside Square building is actually in an industrial zone. And so they're not allowed to have retail. Retail can be an accessory use to some industrial use or some makerspace use, but it can't be the principal use. So that's another issue. And they didn't design that building to actually take food service. So there were issues with ventilation and trash storage and deliveries that were never designed for that building. So as they tried to get people to come in there, there were just too many hurdles and people walked away.
Interesting. Okay, that helps
Yeah,
clarify
we
maybe
used to-
why.
Used to hear rumors about a steakhouse that was going in there when it was first being developed. Yeah, forgotten about that.
But again, they didn't take into consideration the kind of ventilation and trash removal, trash storage that would be necessary with a food service business. They weren't prepared to design for that.
As an action item there, we should probably have at least one of us attend the next planning board meeting. The agenda is not up as far as I can tell. The last one was on the 9th and the meetings aren't, the minutes aren't posted. But I have on my calendar the 23rd. So at some point I must have figured out how it repeats. Does anybody want to volunteer for that? To just check the agenda, see if they're moving forward with some kind of a proposal that we could support.
The proposal for this 13B area.
13B, yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to join in on that meeting.
Okay,
This is the
Great.
planning board meeting, so if I go
Yeah.
onto the website, I'll be able to see okay.
yeah, and yep. It's a good meeting to watch anyway.
That agenda is supposed to be posted tomorrow, Laura. So if you check the planning board website, you should find it.
Okay, great.
Oh, Sue Felshen is here and she is a member of the planning board, so she might be able to provide an insight.
Oh, there we go.
Hi, Sue Felshen, 19 Sunnyside Lane. Excuse me. Choking to death. Sorry about that. I am here.
Take a
I'm getting
minute.
a drink of water. Okay,
Awesome.
that's better. I am your new planning board liaison to your committee. And I thought
Great.
I should introduce myself as such.
Really pleased to meet you.
Most of you have met me before, yes, in one way or another. Okay, so yes, we are in early discussions about what to do, if anything, about tweaking zoning for affordable housing in mixed-use developments, and we don't have anything finalized yet. But stay tuned and I'll be at as many of your meetings as I can come to. And we, of course, welcome you at our meetings.
That sounds awesome. That sounds really, really good. We need to be more connected. This is great, Sue. Thanks for joining us.
So Sue, is it right to interpret that the developer he seems to be gated on a change to the bylaws that's just sort of being discussed at this point?
Well, yes, and also on the viability of getting funding for the project, because clearly the developer thought they had a viable path to building the development a few years ago. Things have changed. They could change again.
Yeah.
In addition to changing zoning.
Yeah.
Or finding a different way to fund affordable housing.
Okay. All right, so let's just track that. And Sue, thanks for joining and updating us on that. And I guess, Laura, that makes your action item more optional, but anybody's totally welcome, obviously, to join the planning board meeting.
Okay, so it's
Uh,
not critical that I go, but just if there's the interest.
Well, I will also point out that our meetings are hybrid, so you could go without actually literally showing up. Well, our meetings vary. Sometimes they're all Zoom, but lately they have been hybrid. And you can also, of course, check our agendas to see if there's anything that seems relevant. And although, as I said, I'll try to come to as many of your meetings as I can and check your agendas as well. Please bring things to the attention of the planning board if you, or ask for our presence if you think it's particularly important.
Okay, sounds good. I'll plan to join on the 23rd.
Great.
Cool. So moving along, we have signage for the cultural district this year, and I know Anne and maybe even Marcia have some visibility on that.
Oh, sorry, can I interrupt just for 1 second? Please do check our agendas, Laura, because we have meetings when all we do is review plans that have been submitted to us. And then there would be no reason for you to attend unless it's specifically a West Concord Village plan. So don't promise to attend the 23rd meeting until you see the agenda. Thanks.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Anne, or Marcia, did you want to comment on the signage?
Well, I know I owe Anne a response to an email that she sent, and I apologize. I was out of the country, just back, so I haven't gotten through all of my emails yet. But I think you did stop by to take a
Yeah, it was
picture.
great.
Okay.
Haley was wonderful. I saw you're living in a construction zone. I'm more power to you. It was really impressive the way the office looked and people working in that. Yeah, she showed me the 4 signs. If you want, I can show you the sign. I don't think everyone's seen them. They're very nice. They're metal. They're not too big. They're like 1.5 feet by 3 feet, although I did not measure them. There are 4 of them. They're all in perfect condition and they're sitting there. And I did talk with Billy about 6 weeks ago, Billy Crosby. He's the national sign maker right around here. And he did have a talk with you, I think before COVID, Marcia, about where the signs might go. Right. And I have just prepared just a draft. This is a working draft of the map that showing where the cultural district is, because most people don't know where it is, and then showing where signs might go. This is just a place to start with. If you want, I can share it on my main screen. If you want, guys. Sure. I mean, this is basically, this is just, you cannot share screen while the other participant. Okay, that's fine. Let's see if I could share. I think, what did I do here? Okay, I think it's allowing me to share. Thanks, guys. So there's that. Did I share the right thing? Oops. Well, so there's the cultural district. And did you see the map, guys? There are a couple of different maps of it. This is maybe not the easiest one to understand. The roads are in light green. It's a little bit hard to understand this. This is the cultural district. There's Church Street. Now, that's really important to understand. The red line here shows basically, let me see if I can lower this down. Now, the red line shows where the outline of our cultural district is, how it goes along the Assabet River. It goes, crosses Lost Brook Road, goes down Maple Street, gets into Bradford Street. So the Bradford Mill, where I'm sitting now, is in it. Goes up Church Street, includes the Fowler Library and the music school, and then kind of goes down Main Street all the way basically to where Concord Green is. And so the idea is, actually, this is in the wrong place. This one is right here. So the idea is, where would the signage go? The signage would go, what Billy had said to me, and I'm going to, I was just, it was late at night and I was taking notes. I'm not sure I got it right, but one of the ideas was for the signage to go on Comm Ave as you come in from Route 2 into, heading towards, the center there. And then the other sign would go, on the same island as you're heading from Ride Out Playground to Comm Ave. And then one sign would go basically right here. I just put it there. Basically, I'm not quite sure if that's exactly right. I have to corroborate with Billy. The third one would go there by the Concord Green residences. He was saying by the end of the cut or the beginning or the Concord Green residences. And the fourth sign, what I had wrote was, he said 62 by Damon Mill. That doesn't seem quite right. I must have gotten those notes wrong because I don't think that's where you want it, because Damon Mill
No.
is not in the cultural district.
Well, Billy was promoting it there. We felt that it belonged closer to the, on Main Street near the Conservatory for Music, and perhaps
Yeah.
just short of Church Street with a sign with an arrow that pointed down Church Street, because that's.
Yeah, Billy had suggested that as well. Let me copy clip this. So these little circles here, let me just make one right here. So the idea is one could be maybe an arrow. Billy was saying right around here maybe or something?
No, on Main Street.
On Main
So-
Street?
No, Main Street near the church. So
Church.
bring it down to
Yeah.
the West Concord
There.
Union Church,
Right.
across kitty corner, yeah, there.
Okay.
That's cool. I think that's really cool. What do you guys think?
Seems
And
like
and
it.
it actually might be down Main Street a little bit to give people warning.
Actually,
So-
that'd be a really good idea. It could actually be maybe further here.
Yeah,
Because what I notice about other cultural districts, because I noticed this in Rockport and I noticed this in Northampton, that the signage is just before the district starts.
Yeah.
So maybe like right here, I think that actually makes a lot of sense on Main Street there. I think that's pretty cool, guys. What do you guys think?
Seems reasonable to me.
Yeah.
and all of this has to go before the select board for, to get their permission. So I'm happy to work with you to put this, to
Yeah,
finalize.
I
it.
can, look, I just did this on the fly.
Yep.
I'd love to work with you, Marcia, and then just put it together. I mean, I think this makes sense. And you know, I think it'd be so super for people to know where the cultural district is, and this will really help. I see how Rockport does, and I also see how Maynard is totally pushing it. Their signs are enormous. I like our signs. They're a little smaller. I think they're more elegant. I think it's better, but and I think they work, and I think we should try them. And of course, you know, it's like anything you do with art. If it doesn't work, you can change it. But there's a Picasso saying, "Rien n'est plus important que le premier jet." Nothing's more important than the first stroke. You know, you got to just make a move.
So is there an action item there?
So I can work with Marcia on making this map a little cleaner, and then I can give it to her, and then we could, I could run it by Billy again if you think that's appropriate, whatever you think, Marcia, or I'll just let you decide. And then we, whatever you think's best, and then we can say I think we should also show it to the West Concord Junction Cultural District. I can show it to them just so they're in the loop.
So let's aim to work on a presentation for the West Concord Junction meeting, which is, I think, in the first week of September, September 6th, perhaps, Tuesday night.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I'm in town.
And
That sounds
then,
perfect, Marcia.
and then get this finalized. I'll help you with a memo to the select board, and maybe we can have this discussed at your next meeting in September. So this could be presented for approval by the select board later in September or early October.
That sounds perfect. That sounds brilliant. And I think that's perfect. And we can have them go up for, West Concord Day, whatever it is.
Discover West Concord.
Yeah, Discover West Concord. We can have the sign. Oh my God, that would be so incredible. We can have them up for the Discover West Concord. That would be so cool. I think that'd be and then we could get, press about it, maybe in the new newspaper that's coming out, the Concord Bridge. It's perfect.
So
Okay,
Marcia, do we need to present to the select board about this, or we just kind of give them a memo and a map and they do a vote kind of without us needing to be there in person?
Since I've been the liaison for this committee, and working with the West Concord Junction Cultural District on this as well, it could be, either group could bring it forward to them. And I don't know if you would need to actually be there to present or not. So I would have to talk to the select board to see how they would like to handle this.
Okay, well, I'd be happy to be in touch with you. I'll be away from August 22nd till August 31st. But other than that, I can send you a brief email, Marcia, if that's okay.
That sounds perfect.
And did you guys see the sign? Did I show it to you?
Yep,
Not
but we have 5 minutes and I want to make sure we leave room for public comment.
Okay, I will, but I can show you the sign really quickly if you want. Well, okay, just keep going and I'll find the sign. Keep going.
Okay, so let me see here. You guys see my screen? So briefly, membership, we obviously announced new members. Susan, you emailed me about another candidate. Let me follow up with you offline about
Yeah, that's fine.
liaison updates. I think what we said here was at the next meeting, why don't we look at the list of liaisons? And we just mentioned a few different changes. And then public comment. So we have at least one guest. And so I just want to open it up to public comment at this point.
I'm just very pleased to be updated on what's being developed and very much appreciate the efforts and the work of committee members. I've lived in West Concord for 42 years and now very interested in becoming more involved in the development. So I appreciate all your work and your efforts.
Great,
Thank you for attending.
Thank you.
I do have this, just so everybody can see the sign, so they'll be aware of it. I can show it to you really quickly.
Yep, we got 3 minutes to
For
look
3
at the
minutes, I'll
sign.
give you 30 seconds. Okay. Can you guys see the
See half
sign?
of
Can you
it.
see
Oh, there
it?
we go. Yeah.
It's cute, isn't it?
The top of
I
it
think it's
looks
got
good.
nice colors. What do you think?
And we can't see the whole entire thing. I'm not sure why, or at least I can't. Can you guys see it?
No, not the whole thing.
Not
You
the whole
gotta
thing.
do it.
Okay, let me see if I can do it
Scroll
again.
down.
Like maybe
Scroll
center the
down.
picture a bit more.
Okay, hold on. What did it do? Oh, there. Can you see it now? No.
No.
Oh dear. Oh dear. It's not letting me do it. Oh well. That's what happens when a baby boomer uses a computer. What can you do?
That's okay. I think I've seen them in the past and
Do you see
there
it
we go.
now?
That's
Do you see
better.
it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You see it now?
Yes.
I think it's really cute. I think it's got great colors. It's fine. It's great. It's simpler than what Billy Crosby had. It's fine. We got to get going.
Yeah. No, I think that'll be nice.
I think it'll be really nice. And there are 4 of them and they're ready to go and they look really good quality. It's great.
Yeah.
Good.
I think someone has their hand up. Sue.
Yes, well, first of all, don't you have available seats on the West Concord Advisory Committee and a member of the public who has just expressed her deep interest in West Concord? I think you should make a suggestion there. And second of all, I wanted to comment on the location of the proposed locations of signage for the West Concord Cultural District. One sign seems to be on Kenneth Dunn Square for people going into West Concord, and that seems like it's on the wrong side of the street for cars, bicycles, and pedestrians who are traveling on the south side of Lawsbrook. And another sign is, quote, by Concord Green. It's actually by the White Hen Shopping Plaza, which doesn't have a White Hen in it. It's the West Concord Shopping Plaza, and possibly it should be moved further west, east, excuse me, to the east side of the Assabet River to
Maybe by the TD Bank,
give
you're
people a
saying?
chance.
By the
Yes,
TD
for example, or the Chase Bank, or
Um,
the whatever
minute.
that little commercial building is that's even just east of the Chase Bank.
So would you
Thanks.
suggest
Yeah.
before the TD Bank or after the TD Bank as you're heading towards West Concord?
That's an interesting question that I think depends on when the speed limit changes and what a traffic engineer would say about what would be easiest for people to notice without crashing into other cars, bicycles, and pedestrians.
Those are good comments.
And-
Really good comments. Thank you very much. Maybe I'll contact you about this. Okay, Sue?
And
Sure, great.
and Stu, if you join our next meeting, it looks like we'll present a final proposal on this, and then if we have further comments, we can incorporate those.
Awesome, wonderful.
So
Thanks.
I'm
Thank
gonna-
you so much. We really appreciate your help. And we hope to have new committee member too.
Yeah, so, and I know, how should I pronounce your first name?
Anor.
Anor. So if you
Yes.
go online, there's now a virtual volunteer card form that you can submit. And we'd be glad to see that.
It is my intention down the road. I have some personal constraints, but as soon as I can get beyond those, that's really my intention. So thank you very much for that invitation. It really is my intention.
It's 8 o'clock.
Wonderful.
It's 8
Awesome.
o'clock, so I'm gonna move to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any opposed? Thank you. Have a good night.
Great meeting, guys.
Good night, everyone.